What if a single sticker could cost you your freedom? Imagine walking into a store, seeing a simple price tag, and realizing someone had replaced it with an anti-war message. A small act of defiance, but in an authoritarian system, it can become a crime. This is not fiction. It's the true story behind Extremist, a powerful short film now gaining Oscar buzz. A project that has just added two Hollywood heavyweights to its team, Ben Stiller and John Lesher. Together, they've stepped in to help a dissident Russian filmmaker tell a story the world needs to hear, one that exposes the high cost of speaking truth in the face of tyranny. Ben Stiller, yes, the same man who made us laugh in Zoolander and Night at the Museum, isn't just an actor. He's also a humanitarian, a director, and a producer who has quietly used his platform to support human rights causes worldwide. Alongside Oscar-winning producer John Lesher, known for Birdman, he's now become an executive producer for Extremist, a short film directed by Alexander Molochnikov. But this isn't your average award season story. It's the story of exile, censorship, and resistance, a story born from the shadow of war. Molochnikov's journey is one that mirrors the story he's telling. Once celebrated as one of Russia's most promising young directors, he had it all. Success at Moscow's iconic Bolshoi Theater, plays at the Moscow Art Theater, and growing international recognition. But in 2022, everything changed. When Russia invaded Ukraine, he made a choice that would alter his life forever. He spoke out. Publicly criticizing his government's war was enough to make him an enemy of the state. Threatened, silenced, and unable to work safely, he fled his home in St. Petersburg, seeking refuge abroad. Extremist was born out of that exile, a collaboration between displaced Russian artists determined to use film as their voice when speech itself became dangerous. The short was shot in Europe with a cast and crew of exiled Russians, many who, like Molochnikov, left everything behind. Cinematographer Mikhail Krichman, famous for his haunting work on Leviathan and Loveless, joined the team after leaving Russia in 2022. His lens captures both the quiet despair and defiant hope that define the film's tone. It's not just cinema, it's testimony, the kind that can't be told within Russia's borders anymore. At the heart of Extremist lies the true story of Sasha Skochelenko, a young Russian artist and musician arrested for replacing just 4 supermarket price tags with anti-war messages. 4 pieces of paper. That's all it took to land her 7 years in prison. Through this simple act, the film explores what happens when truth itself becomes forbidden. The narrative dives deep into the mind of someone who refuses to stay silent, even when the cost is everything. It's a haunting reminder of how fragile freedom becomes when fear replaces conversation. For Ben Stiller and John Lesher, this project is more than just an award contender. It's a mission. In a joint statement, they said, "This film immerses us in the tragedy of anti-war art and activism in Russia, where the human right to free speech comes into conflict with an authoritarian system. People around the world need to see this film." It's easy to forget that Stiller, beyond his Hollywood career, has spent years advocating for refugees and speaking out on behalf of those trapped in war zones. His involvement adds global attention to a story that could otherwise be buried under censorship and fear. Since its premiere at the 2025 Telluride Film Festival, Extremist has been quietly building momentum. It's already won 2 BAFTA Student Film Awards and the Jury Prize at the New Hampshire Film Festival, both Oscar qualifying honors. It's also received the National Board of Review's 2025 Student Grant, placing it among the year's strongest contenders in the live-action short category for the upcoming 98th Academy Awards. These aren't just accolades. They're signs that the film's message about courage, art, and oppression is resonating far beyond the borders it defies. The cast of Extremist reads like a who's who of Russian cinematic talent now living in exile. Victoria Moroshnichenko, known for Beanpole, delivers a devastatingly authentic performance. Tinatin Dalakishvili from Extraction 2 and Hostages adds emotional gravity, while veteran actress Lilian Malkina, now 87, lends generational weight to the narrative. Their collective presence turns the film into something more than a protest. It becomes a statement of endurance. Even in displacement, even in silence, art survives. When asked about his film, Molochnikov said something chillingly powerful. Authoritarian power comes subtly. One can miss the moment when the choice is before you, to compromise or to stick to your principles. His words echo beyond Russia, because his story isn't just about one country or one artist. It's about what happens when societies everywhere forget to question authority, when censorship becomes normalized, and when truth becomes inconvenient. Extremist warns us that the line between democracy and dictatorship can blur quietly until one day you realize freedom has been replaced by fear. As the Oscars approach, Extremist stands as more than just a contender. It's a symbol of resistance through storytelling, of courage in exile, and of global solidarity in the face of oppression. With Ben Stiller and John Lesher bringing Hollywood spotlight to this daring project, the film's message has a chance to reach millions. It asks one haunting question: what would you do if speaking your truth became a crime? Maybe that's why this story matters now more than ever. Because in a world where silence feels safer, Extremist reminds us that real change begins with the courage to speak, even if your voice shakes.